Hello, I'm Larry Tatum, and welcome back to Tip of the Week. Now, some of you emailed me and asked me to do some techniques, and one of them that you asked me to demonstrate it with the help of John is crossing talent. Now, a lot of people have trouble with crossing talent in that they don't understand when the elbow, that first elbow strike, is to take place, and the timing. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to use this to create a tremendous amount of force when you bring your opponent down into range of that outward elbow. Now, you know that it's a counter grab to a wrist grab, right? But now, as we counter grab, I don't want John to step forward and slip his elbow in. So as I counter grab with the bottom hand, I make sure that I track along his arm. And as I track along his arm, it allows me to break that elbow at that point. Okay, now here we know it's controlling John's width, so I'm not so concerned about the left side of his body. But at this point in the technique is where I want you to start pulling, okay? And I want you to, what we call a yanking motion. But as I pull and push, even though I've created a break or a spring, at this point, I torque John down so that his ribs actually hit into my hip at this point. Now, while his ribs are traveling for my hip, that gives me time. And it's in that time that I can release this arm and let this elbow meet the head as it comes down. So you might say it's B1A with my elbow, okay? So as John comes torquing down into my hip, that's when that elbow meets that action. Then I rip the face. Now what you want to do is make sure that as you rip, you torque your elbow and anchor it down just behind his neck into his shoulder blade. What this does, it causes a lot of leverage, and you can wrench the neck, but it also controls John's height. So as I rip, I anchor it down, and this added move is a back knuckle to further keep him down, and then I drop in a power move, which is an overhead elbow. At this point, heel palm, and then knee. But the important move in this is to coordinate your grab and your forearm strike together and bring them into that elbow and then rip down. Thank you, Joe.